Have you ever noticed how some people just walk into a room and suddenly the whole energy changes? People listen, they respect, they admire, and you wonder, what do they have that I don't? Let me tell you a secret, most of the time. It's not about talent, money, or luck. It's about how they carry themselves. Today, I want to share with you a simple yet life-changing principle. Act as if you are the best. Not to brag, not to be arrogant, but to awaken the greatness that already lies within you. Because, my friends, the world responds to the energy you show, even before you say a single word. Friends, everything begins here, inside your own heart. If you don't first see your value, how can the world see it? Let me tell you a little story. There was once a young man, full of dreams but constantly doubting himself. Every time he wanted to speak up, he thought, who am I to share my thoughts? There are so many smarter, more experienced people around me. So he stayed silent. Days passed, months passed, and those ideas, those thoughts remained locked inside. Opportunities came and went, and he wondered, why is life passing me by? Why do others shine while I remain in the shadows? The truth is simple, yet powerful. The world responds to the energy of belief. Not talent alone, not luck alone, not even experience alone, but belief in your own worth. When you know deep in your heart that you have something to offer, that you deserve respect, that your ideas matter, the universe begins to respond. Doors open, people listen, opportunities appear where none existed before. It's almost like magic. But it's not magic, it's your energy speaking before you even say a word. Now, don't confuse this with arrogance. Believing in your worth is not about thinking you are better than anyone else. It's about honoring the unique gift you carry, even if it seems small. Maybe you are not the best singer, not the best speaker, not the richest person in the room, but you are the best version of yourself at this moment, and that is enough. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you walk into a room full of strangers. If you think I am not good enough to be here, your shoulders slump, your voice trembles, your eyes avoid contact. But if you think, I belong here, I have value, I am worthy of this space, something shifts. You walk taller, you speak clearer, you smile, and just like that, people notice you. They respect you, they listen, all because you first believed in your own worth. And here's the most beautiful part. Belief in yourself is contagious. When you believe in yourself, others start believing in you too. You inspire confidence in people without even trying. And that, my friends, is how you start acting as if you are the best, not through arrogance, but through inner conviction. So today, I invite each of you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I truly believe I am worthy? Do I honor the gifts I already have? Because until you do, until you hold that mirror to yourself with love and acceptance, the world will not reflect back the greatness that already resides within you. Remember, friends, everything begins with belief. Before skill, before experience, before luck. It begins with you knowing your worth, friends. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the mood shift the moment someone enters? Perhaps it's a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger. Suddenly people smile, they listen, the atmosphere becomes lighter, or sometimes the energy drops and the whole room feels heavy. And you know what? It's not magic, it's energy. Your energy. And the energy you bring into a space will always ripple out to those around you. Let me share a story. There was a young woman, extremely talented, very smart, but constantly worried about how others would judge her. Every time she entered a meeting, she slouched, whispered, avoided eye contact. Even when she spoke, her voice was timid. People often overlooked her. They didn't see her potential, not because she lacked talent, but because her energy did not announce it. She thought, if I try too hard, they will think I am arrogant. So she dimmed herself, and life dimmed around her. Now compare that to someone else. A person enters the same room with a calm smile, shoulders back, and a sparkle in their eyes. They exude quiet confidence. They don't boast, they don't brag, but people immediately notice them. Why? Because energy attracts energy. When you radiate positivity, confidence, and enthusiasm, the world responds. People are drawn to you. Opportunities start coming your way. Doors that seemed closed now creak open. Conversations that once ignored you now lean toward your words. And the most amazing part? You don't have to demand attention. The energy itself speaks louder than words. This is why I always tell people your inner state matters more than your outer circumstances. You can have the fanciest suit, the best education, or even the most impressive resume. But if your energy says, I am unsure, I am small, I am not worthy, people will feel it. Conversely, if you bring energy that says, I am here, I belong, I am ready, the universe begins to respond in kind. It's almost like the world is a mirror reflecting your inner vibrations. Friends, think about it this way. When you are joyful, optimistic, and confident, you make others feel at ease. When you are enthusiastic and kind, people want to be around. But when you carry fear, negativity, or doubt, people unconsciously distance themselves. It's not about showing off, it's about being fully present in your best energy and letting that energy guide your actions, your words, your presence. So, if you want to act as if you are the best, start with your energy. Walk into every room as though the universe has placed you there for a reason. Smile sincerely, stand tall, speak clearly, and watch how the world naturally responds to your energy. Because friends, energy doesn't lie. It doesn't pretend. It speaks before you ever open your mouth. Remember, your energy is a magnet. Positive energy attracts positive opportunities. Confidence attracts confidence. And belief attracts belief. And the beautiful truth is this: the energy you carry is 100% within your control. You can choose to radiate confidence, gratitude, and positivity today. And by doing so, you create a ripple effect, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. So ask yourself, when I enter a room, what energy do I bring? Am I dimming myself or am I lighting up the space? Because the world always responds to the energy you project. Friends, let me ask you a simple question. How many of you have ever met someone for the first time and instantly felt, wow, this person is impressive? Maybe it was the way they walked, the way they spoke, or even just the way they smiled. And sometimes the opposite happens. You meet someone and there's no spark, no connection, even if they are brilliant in their field. Why is that? It's the power of first impressions. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man, full of ideas, intelligent, creative, and hardworking. He had a brilliant plan for a startup, one that could have changed his life. But when he went to pitch it to investors, he wore wrinkled clothes, mumbled his words, avoided eye contact, and seemed unsure of himself. Sadly, even though his idea was gold, people weren't convinced. His brilliance was overshadowed by the energy and impression he projected. First impressions are that powerful. Now, notice this. First impressions are not about arrogance, flashy clothes, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about showing respect for yourself and for others through the way you carry yourself. Standing tall, smiling, greeting people warmly, speaking with clarity, and even dressing neatly sends a silent message: I value myself and I value you. And the beautiful part is, this message is heard before you even say a single word. Think about it this way. Life is a series of entrances. Every meeting, every conversation, every first interaction is like stepping onto a stage. And the audience, the people around you, judge you in the first few seconds, not unfairly, but naturally. They sense your confidence, your energy, your presence. They notice if you walk in with your head down, shoulders slumped, avoiding eye contact. And they notice if you walk in with grace, clarity, and quiet confidence. Which one do you want to be remembered for? Here's another little secret. First impressions are not permanent, but they are hard to change. You can try to explain yourself later, but people will always carry that initial feeling with them. So why not make the first impression count? Why not let your first step, your first word, your first smile reflect the best version of yourself? Because friends, the world does not just respond to what you say, it responds to how you show up. And here's the practical takeaway. It doesn't have to be complicated. Stand tall, breathe deeply, smile genuinely, and make eye contact. Speak with clarity and kindness. Dress in a way that reflects your respect for yourself. These small actions create huge ripples, and suddenly, people begin to take you seriously, trust you, and value your presence. First impressions are not about vanity, they are about aligning your inner worth with your outward presence. Remember, friends, life is full of meetings, introductions, and new opportunities. And the reality is simple. People remember how you made them feel before they remember what you said. So when you act as if you are the best, part of that is showing up in every interaction as your most confident, authentic self. Walk in with energy, speak with clarity, smile with warmth, and watch the doors of opportunities swing wide open for you. So today, I challenge you. The next time you enter a room, a meeting, or even a casual gathering, ask yourself, am I showing my best self? Am I making the first impression I want the world to remember? Because friends' first impressions set the tone for everything that follows. Friends, let's talk about a phrase we have all heard before. Fake it till you make it. Now, at first, it might sound a little tricky, even dishonest, but let me assure you, it's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about tapping into the potential that already exists within you, even if it hasn't fully revealed itself yet. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see the tree immediately. You water it, give it sunlight, and nurture it. And one day, that tiny seed becomes a magnificent tree. Acting as if is the same. You are nurturing the greatness inside you until it grows into reality. I remember a young man who wanted to become a public speaker. He had ideas that could inspire thousands, but when he started, his hands shook, his voice trembled, and he felt completely inadequate. He thought, I am not ready, people will laugh at me. But he made a conscious choice. Every time he went on stage, he told himself, I am confident, I am inspiring, I belong here. And he didn't just say it in his mind, he acted it out. He stood tall, made eye contact, spoke slowly, and smiled warmly. Slowly, what was once fake became real. Confidence grew, and the world responded to the energy he projected. The key here is wisdom. We are not talking about arrogance or deception. We are not suggesting that you claim expertise you don't have or lie about your achievements. That is different. What we are saying is this: behave as if your potential is already here. Speak with clarity, walk with confidence, treat others with respect, and take action as though you are capable and deserving. The act itself trains your mind, body, and soul to step into that reality. It rewires your habits and your belief system. Think of it like learning to swim. When you first get into the water, you may not know how to float or move efficiently. But if you act as if you can swim, moving your arms, kicking your legs, keeping your head above water, your body learns. Over time, you don't have to act anymore. It becomes natural. Acting as if is not about lying to the world. It's about teaching yourself to become the person you aspire to be. And here's something even more powerful. The world reacts to how you show up, often before you achieve the results. People trust confidence, they respond to positivity, they notice leadership qualities, even if you are still growing into them. By acting as if, you create opportunities, attract the right people, and build momentum that pushes you forward. It's like creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of success. So today I encourage each of you to identify areas of your life where you feel not ready. And instead of waiting for perfect confidence, perfect skills, or perfect circumstances, start acting as if you are already capable. Stand tall, speak with clarity, take action, and treat yourself and others with respect. Every small action compounds over time, and slowly the line between acting and being disappears. You are not faking, it's growth, it's transformation, friends. Greatness doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It emerges when you decide to step into your potential, even before you fully feel ready. Acting as if is your bridge between who you are today and who you are destined to become. The magic happens when you take the first step, the next step, and keep going. Confident, aware, and fully present. Friends, let me share something very simple yet profoundly true. The people you spend the most time with shape the person you become. It's not just what you think, it's not just what you read, it's the energy, the habits, the values of the people around you. Surround yourself with excellence, and slowly, unconsciously, excellence becomes part of who you are. I once met a young man who wanted to grow in his career, but he always complained that no one recognized his efforts. His friends, though well meaning, constantly spoke about limitations, failures, and why things couldn't be done. Every conversation drained his energy and planted doubt in his mind. He worked hard, yes, but the negativity around him kept him from stepping fully into his potential. Then, one day, he made a choice. He sought out mentors and friends who inspired him, who challenged him to think bigger, who celebrated possibilities instead of problems. Slowly, everything changed. He started believing in his abilities. He took bolder steps, and opportunities that once seemed out of reach began appearing. The world responds to the energy you carry, and the people you spend time with shape that energy. Think about it like this. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought, every conversation, every influence is a seed. If you surround yourself with negativity, gossip, doubt, and laziness, your garden fee, less with weeds. But if you surround yourself with positivity, ambition, discipline, and wisdom, your garden flourishes with beautiful, strong, vibrant plants. The people around you are the gardeners of your soul. Choose them wisely. And here's a secret. Most people don't realize excellence is contagious. When you are around people who are kind, disciplined, motivated, and curious, you start adopting their habits almost unconsciously. Their energy rubs off on you. Their mindset shapes yours. And even when you feel tired or doubtful or uncertain, the company you keep can lift you and remind you of your own potential. This is why I always tell people, if you want to act as if you are the best, you cannot do it in isolation. Excellence needs a fertile environment. Surround yourself with people who inspire, who uplift, who challenge, and who remind you that greatness is possible. It's not about competition, it's about growth. When you are surrounded by excellence, you are constantly learning, evolving, and stepping closer to the best version of yourself. And here's something beautiful. It's not just about people who are successful in the world's eyes. Sometimes the quiet ones, the humble, the kind, the disciplined, are the ones who will shape your character the most. They teach patience, persistence, integrity, and resilience. They show that being the best is not just about achievement, it's about how you live, how you think, and how you uplift others. So today, I encourage you to reflect. Who do you spend your time with? Are they lifting you, inspiring you, and challenging you to be better, or are they holding you back without even realizing it? Surround yourself with excellence, and slowly but surely, you will notice a shift. Your energy rises, your thoughts expand, your actions align with your highest self. And before you know it, acting as if you are the bees. Tea becomes effortless because you are being supported by the very people and energy that reflect the best version of you. Remember, friends, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, but the good news is we get to choose those 5. Choose wisely, choose excellence, surround yourself with greatness, and greatness will surround you. Friends, let's pause for a moment and reflect on something very important: how we speak to the world. Words are powerful, they can inspire, motivate, and even transform lives. But here's the catch. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And this is where many of us stumble. Acting as if you are the best does not mean bragging, boasting, or putting others down. It means speaking with confidence, clarity, and humility, so people naturally listen, respect, and respond to your energy. Let me share a story. There was a young woman, incredibly talented in her field, but every time she spoke in meetings, she mumbled, her voice was hesitant, and her words lacked conviction. Despite her brilliance, she was overlooked. On the other hand, there was a colleague with moderate skills, but a calm, confident voice. He didn't exaggerate or boast, but he spoke with certainty and clarity. People immediately noticed him, respected his opinion, and followed his lead. You see, confidence carries weight, even more than brilliance sometimes, because people respond to energy first, words second. Confidence in speech is like a magnet. When you speak with clarity, with belief in what you are saying, people naturally gravitate towards you. They listen, they remember, and they trust your perspective. But let me warn you, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is quiet, steady, and grounded. Arrogance is loud, showy, and dismissive. Confidence invites dialogue, arrogance shuts it down, confidence inspires. Arrogance intimidates. Acting as if you are the best is about embodying quiet confidence, not ego driven loudness. Here's another perspective. Think of your words as seeds. Every time you speak, you plant a seed in someone else's mind. If your words are hesitant, uncertain, or disrespectful, the seeds may not grow. But when you speak with confidence, kindness, and clarity, the seeds take root. People remember them. They carry your energy with them long after the conversation ends. Confidence in speech is not about overpowering others. It's about allowing your inner belief to shine through in a way that uplifts, inspires, and commands respect naturally. And friends, confidence comes from preparation, self-belief, and awareness. Before you speak, know your message. Believe in the value of what you have to offer, and then deliver it with calmness, clarity, and a steady presence. Even if you feel nervous inside, your posture, your tone, and your energy can convey certainty to the world. This is the art of speaking as if you are the best. Your words carry weight because your presence carries confidence. Think about leaders you admire. Have you noticed that the most inspiring ones don't need to shout, boast, or dominate conversations? They speak with conviction, even when admitting they don't know everything. They communicate from a place of inner certainty and calm, and people naturally follow them. Confidence attracts attention, trust, and respect. Arrogance repels it. This is why mastering the art of confident communication is one of the most important steps in acting as if you are the best. So today, I challenge you to reflect. The next time you speak, whether in a meeting with friends or even to strangers, ask yourself, am I speaking with confidence? Am I showing belief in myself without overshadowing others? Am I inspiring, or am I just trying to impress? Speak clearly, stand tall, smile, and let your words carry the energy of someone who knows their worth and shares it with humility. That, my friends, is the power of speaking with confidence, not arrogance. Friends, let me share something very simple, yet profoundly true. Consistency is the bridge between intention and achievement. You see, most of us want quick results. We want to feel confident immediately, to see success overnight, to be recognized instantly. But life rarely works that way. Acting as if you are the best is not a one-day effort. It's a journey. And the key to making it real is consistency. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who wanted to become a writer. Every day he dreamed of seeing his name on a published book, speaking at events, and inspiring thousands. But the first time he tried to write, he struggled with self-doubt. The words didn't flow. He felt like giving up. Then one of his mentors said something simple. Write every day, even if it's just a few lines. Consistency will create belief in yourself, and belief will turn your effort into excellence. He started small, just 10 minutes a day. Slowly, those 10 minutes became 30, then an hour. His confidence grew. People began noticing his work. His dreams slowly became reality, not because of a sudden leap, but because of steady, consistent action. Friends, this is the secret of success in any area of life. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Acting as if you are the best requires daily practice. Stand tall every day, speak with clarity, nurture your skills, surround yourself with excellence, and carry yourself with confidence. It may feel awkward at first, even unnatural, but over time your actions create belief. Your mind begins to accept the energy you project, and eventually it becomes who you truly are. Think of it like building a muscle. You cannot lift heavy weights on the first day and expect to be strong. You start with small repetitions day after day, week after week. Slowly your body strengthens and the effort becomes effortless. The same principle applies to confidence, self-belief, and acting as if you are the best. Every small action, repeated consistently, reshapes your identity, rewires your brain, and transforms your life. Here's another important point. Consistency also builds trust with yourself and with others. When people see you showing up every day, committed, reliable, and steady, they naturally start believing in you. They know you are dependable. They know your energy is genuine. And more importantly, you start believing in yourself. You begin to realize, yes, I am capable. Yes, I am growing. Yes, I am becoming the best version of myself. Consistency is not flashy. It doesn't happen in dramatic moments. It happens quietly, in the repetition of small intentional actions. It happens when you choose to stand tall even when no one is watching. It happens when you keep showing up, even on days when you feel tired, insecure, or doubtful. That is how belief is born. That is how acting as if you are the best stops being an act and becomes a reality. So today, I encourage you, identify the habits, actions, and behaviors that reflect the best version of yourself. Then commit to them daily. Even if progress seems slow, even if results are invisible at first, remember that consistency compounds. Like a river carving through rock, steady effort will shape your destiny. Show up, act as if, and over time, your actions will create belief. Belief will create confidence, and confidence will create the life you aspire to. Remember, friends, greatness is not born in a single moment. It is cultivated in the daily, repeated choices you make. Consistency creates belief, and belief creates transformation. That is the secret that every great person in the world knows. Friends, let's pause and think about something very important. The world does not just respond to what we say, it responds to what we do. Words are powerful, yes, but actions are transformative. Acting as if you are the best is not about telling everyone how great you are or making promises you cannot keep. It's about living it, showing it, demonstrating it through your deeds. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who constantly talked about his dreams. He spoke about becoming a leader, about making an impact, about being respected. He would give speeches, post on social media, and talk to anyone who would listen. But in reality, he never took consistent steps toward his goals. He stayed comfortable, procrastinated, and hoped that words alone would create change. And over time, people noticed. They realized he was all talk and no action. His influence, his credibility, and his impact were limited, not because he lacked vision, but because he failed to act. Now compare that to someone else. This person rarely spoke about their goals. They didn't need to. Every day, they quietly worked on themselves, learned new skills, helped others, and took action aligned with their vision. Slowly, people began noticing the results. Opportunities appeared, people sought their advice. Their reputation grew, not because they proclaimed it, but because their actions spoke louder than any words could. This is the power of action. Friends, think about it in a very simple way. If you say, I am confident, but your posture is slouched, your voice trembles, and you avoid challenges, your words lose meaning. But if you speak calmly, stand tall, take initiative, and face challenges head on, even without saying a single word, people sense it. They feel your energy. They trust your presence. They recognize you, our capability. Actions carry a weight that words alone can never achieve. This principle applies to every area of life: relationships, career, personal growth, and self-discipline. You can promise your family that you will be responsible, but until you consistently show up, cook a meal, support them in small ways, or simply keep your word, your promises remain empty. You can talk about your goals at work, but until you consistently deliver, until you meet deadlines, solve problems, and contribute meaningfully, words will not translate into respect or influence. And here's a beautiful truth. Action not only builds credibility with others, it builds self-belief. Every time you act in alignment with the best version of yourself, your mind and heart recognize it. You realize, yes, I am capable. Yes, I can handle challenges. Yes, I am growing. Action becomes the bridge between potential and reality, between intention and transformation. Without it, even the best mindset will remain trapped in theory. So today, I encourage you, stop waiting for the perfect moment to act. Stop overthinking, stop overplanning, and start doing. Take the first small step toward your goal. Show kindness instead of just speaking about it. Work hard instead of just imagining it. Step into leadership through service, not just words. Because friends, the world will always respond to what you do far more than what you say. Actions create trust, actions create momentum, actions create results. Remember friends, if you truly want to act as if you are the best, Let your life be a demonstration of it. Speak less about it and show more of it. Let your actions do the talking, and the world will notice. Your words may inspire, but your deeds will transform. That is the essence of living with purpose, integrity, and excellence. Friends, let's talk about something that often holds people back. From truly shining comparison. We live in a world where it's so easy to measure ourselves against others. Social media, colleagues, classmates, friends, even family. And every time we do, something subtle happens inside us. Doubt creeps in, insecurity rises, and our own unique brilliance gets overshadowed. But here's the truth. Your journey is yours, and learning from the best does not mean copying them. It means growing into your highest self. Let me share a story. There was a young musician, deeply passionate about playing the piano. Every time he practiced, he compared himself to a famous pianist online. I will never be as good as them, he would think. Why bother? Others are better. He felt discouraged, his confidence dipped, and slowly he almost stopped playing. One day, a wise mentor told him, stop comparing. Learn from the best, yes, but measure your progress against your own potential. Your path is unique. Your growth is what matters. That simple advice transformed him. Instead of imitation or self-doubt, he focused on learning techniques, practicing daily, and improving himself. Over time, he developed his own style, his own voice, and his music began touching hearts. Not because it was like anyone else's, but because it was authentically his. Friends, learning from the best is essential. Study people who inspire you, their habits, their mindset, their approach to challenges. Observe what makes them successful. Absorb their wisdom. But here's the subtlety. This is not about measuring yourself against them or feeling lesser. That comparison traps you in a cycle of inadequacy. Instead, think of it as borrowing a lantern to light your own path. You are not trying to walk their path, you are illuminating your own. Comparison is dangerous because it distracts you from your own journey. Every person has different experiences, different opportunities, DI. Friend strengths. You may feel inferior looking at someone else's highlight reel. But remember, no one shares their struggles, their failures, or their behind-the-scenes effort. Your growth is about consistent, intentional effort toward your own highest self. Acting as if you are the best is not arrogance. It's about striving to be the best version of yourself, not the best version of anyone else. Here's another perspective. When you stop comparing, you start appreciating. You start seeing your own progress, your own victories, your own unique contributions. You become motivated not by envy, but by inspiration. You learn from the best, adopt what resonates with your values, and gradually you carve your own path of excellence. That is how leaders, creators, and innovators rise, not by copying others, but by combining learning with authenticity. Friends, think about it like gardening. Each plant grows differently. Some grow tall, some spread wide, some bloom quickly, some take years. You wouldn't cut one down because it's not like the others. You nurture it, water it, give it sunlight, and it thrives in its own way. The same is true for you. Stop comparing, stop measuring yourself against someone else, and focus on nurturing your own growth. Learn from the best, yes, but walk your path with courage, focus, and authenticity. So today, I invite you to reflect. Who are you comparing yourself to unnecessarily? And more importantly, how can you learn from them without losing sight of your own journey? Stop letting comparison rob you of joy, motivation, and self-belief. Surround yourself with inspiration, absorb wisdom, and then take deliberate steps to become the best version of yourself. Your journey is unique, your potential is unmatched, and when you embrace that, acting as if you are the best becomes a natural way of life, not arrogance, not imitation, but authentic. I see greatness. Friends, let's end with something incredibly powerful. Something that has the ability to change your life if you truly understand it. Your mindset shapes your world. Every thought you carry, every belief you hold, every perspective you nurture, directly influences the reality you experience. Acting as if you are the best is not just about posture, confidence, or words. It begins in the mind. Your mindset determines whether you see obstacles as barriers or as opportunities. whether you see challenges as threats or as stepping stones. Let me tell you a story. There was a young entrepreneur full of ideas but constantly plagued by doubt. Every time an opportunity appeared, he hesitated, thinking, I'm not ready, I can't do this. Slowly, doors that were meant to open for him closed. His peers moved ahead, not necessarily because they were more talented, but because their mindset allowed them to act, to persevere, to believe in themselves. One day, he decided to change. He began training his mind to focus on possibilities instead of limitations. He repeated affirmations, visualized success, and took deliberate action every day as if he was capable and deserving. The world around him didn't magically change, but his perception did. He noticed opportunities he had missed before. He attracted people who believed in him, and he began achieving things that once seemed impossible. That's the power of mindset. Friends, your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you plant grow into beliefs, and the beliefs grow into reality. If you sow seeds of doubt, fear, and comparison, your garden becomes overrun with weeds. But if you sow seeds of confidence, positivity, and resilience, your garden flourishes. Acting as if you are the best begins here by training your mind to see your worth, your potential, and the opportunities that lie ahead. Now, here's a subtle truth many people miss. Mindset is not just about thinking positively. It's about aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. You can tell yourself, I am capable. But if your actions and energy contradict that thought, the mind won't fully believe it. That's why acting as if you are the best is so powerful. It creates a feedback loop between your mindset and your actions. The more you act with confidence, clarity, and integrity, the more your mind begins to accept it as reality, and the more your reality shifts in response. Think about the great leaders, innovators, and achievers you admire. They were not necessarily smarter, luckier, or more talented than anyone else. What set them apart was their mindset. They believed in possibilities when others doubted. They saw opportunities where others saw obstacles, and they acted decisively even when fear whispered otherwise. Their mindset shaped the world around them. They didn't wait for the perfect circumstances, they created them. Friends, the most beautiful part of this principle is that mindset is within your control. You may not control every external event, every person you meet, or every situation that comes your way, but you can control how you perceive it, how you respond to it, and how you choose to act. By choosing a mindset of possibility, growth, and self-belief, you set the stage for acting as if you are the best. The energy you project, the actions you take, the confidence you exude, all of it stems from your inner mental framework. So today I challenge you, start with your mind. Observe your thoughts. Question your doubts. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Visualize yourself as the best version of yourself, not arrogantly but intentionally. Let that mindset guide your energy, your actions, and your presence. Because friends, when your mind believes it, your world begins to respond. Your opportunities expand, your confidence grows, your relationships deepen, and your impact multiplies. Remember this, the greatest power you have in life is the power of your own mind. Change your mindset and you change your world. Act as if you are the best, starting from within, and watch as the universe begins to reflect back the greatness that has always been inside you.